Welcome back, guys, to yet another World of Warcraft The War Within video. Today we are going to be talking about the best build for farming cloth in War Within. And just to give a general idea, tailoring is pretty much the primary way, not the only way, but the primary way that you will be gathering cloth in the War Within. If you do not have tailoring as a regular player, you will probably not get any cloth, maybe a little bit, depending on how lucky you get from treasures and things like that, but not anything at super high quality. The only other way, there's a couple small versions, but the only other way to kind of get a little bit of cloth is webbed ore deposits in mining, but you do not come by those fast enough to make it a reasonable way to farm cloth. It's just like a byproduct. Having tailoring is something that you need if you want to farm cloth at a major scale. And in tailoring, there are a lot of different talents that actually impact how good you are at farming cloth. Textile treasures, under textile treasures in your specialization, is the main one that will kind of make your farming better. This is going to give you the opportunity to find weaver cloth bolts next to your just general weaver cloth that you collect when you're farming. But this will also increase the percentage chances of you finding cloth, or, well, humanoids dropping cloth, okay? You know, you see 5%, 10%, and then you see here an additional 10%, 10%, 10%, and then another 25%. So this will just make like the amount of cloth that you get from mob drops even higher. And there are 3 different kinds of cloth, so it's pretty important to get this one first, just because it impacts everything. Like all 3 different kinds of materials or for cloth. So you would probably go for this one first in almost every single situation, just because it gives you more, right? Way more, and the chances are way higher. Now, the other place where you can find something is under quality fabric, and you'll find right here it says cloth from humanoids will sometimes drop at quality 2. So if you only have this, you will only get rank 1 quality cloth. But if you get 15 points into quality fabric, you will get sometimes rank 2. And if you put 30 points into it, you'll sometimes get quality 3. Now this one is 30 points for getting those, which is obviously important. But something to consider is under from dawn until dusk. This is the talent tree for your daily cooldown bolts that you can actually make. But this is actually really important. Under here, you'll see that once you learn this, you will get the chance to find scraps of duskweave from humanoids around Castelgar, and that's the same thing with dawnweave. These are really important, and the amount of points that you actually have to put into this is quite a lot, because you'll see right here, right now we have 1 subspec unlocked, right? We get that immediately, which is good. But to be able to get the other one, you're going to have to put 30 points into from dawn until dusk, because you'll see right here, learn a sub-specialization of your choice. It's not really much of a choice, because if you put 15 points into this one right here, it will only unlock the next one in that line. So, because of that, to be able to get both of these, and the good thing is you don't need to put more points into it, but you do need to put 30 points into from dawn until dusk, and then you will get the ability to learn these 2 straight away. And that's all you have to do, because that is where you learn to find scraps of duskweave and where you find scraps of dawnweave. And dawnweave and duskweave are the places where you will, like, you need that to be able to get the higher quality spools. You'll see right here spools of dawn thread and spools of dusk thread. That's the way it currently is, the way that it is on the beta. That's how you actually get those spools. So that's the place that you need to be, and they're very valuable. It's something that you need to use for a lot of gear crafting and also a lot of the bag crafting. So having access to something like this is pretty important. But whether you go for that first, because this is a question of 30 knowledge points, right? Because in total, you'll be using for like 30 and 30 and 30. So you'll be using 90 knowledge points. Now, You probably, in most cases, won't see 90 knowledge points, at least in the first week, but you'll get pretty close in week 2, maybe even week 3. It kind of depends on how lucky you get with your NPC work orders, how far you actually go into the profession, and like how many first craft bonuses you can get. There's also a lot of world drop BOE recipes, so again, it's a little hard to tell how many points we're going to get. But I think in most cases, just because this increases the quality of cloth that you get, so you sometimes get quality 2, and then this will be sometimes quality 3. If you don't even get the Duskweave and Dawnweave scraps, I think it's more important to actually get these points first, and then you can go for quality later. So 30 points into Textile Treasures, 30 points into From Dawn Until Dusk, and then after that, you go into quality fabric. And then at that point, that's where you have pretty much everything that impacts farming and gathering cloth, right? It's really important. You'll get to that point pretty easily. And I would say that's to like min-max the rewards from gathering. One thing I will say is obviously in tailoring, you get access to each of these specialization trees every 25 points, okay? So 25, 1, 50, 1, 75, 1, and then 100, 1. To even be able to get to those breakpoints, you need to put points into Threads of Devotion, which is the gear crafting part, which is a little unfortunate. There's like a breakpoint between, like, you don't really get to 75 that easily. You have to craft a couple of things that you get from either a BOE recipe or something that you get out of Threads of Devotion. So that's a little rough at the moment. I'm hoping that changes before the game goes live. And if you are watching this when the game does go live and you can get to 75 in your skill points without having to even interact with Threads of Devotion, that's absolutely amazing. I hope that's the way that it's going to be. Because if we have to go into Threads of Devotion to be able to even get to 75, that's going to put you back quite a lot of knowledge points. So I'm really hoping that's not the case. But in case it is, you know, it's however many points. It's like, what, 5 points here, and then you go into making a statement, and you'll learn to... Oh, you got to put a lot of points into it. But this is mostly finishing reagents, right? So what you learn one subspecialization immediately, and then you can learn to craft consecrated mantles, for example. But the problem is these are like BOP, right? So you're going to have to do work orders for them, which means you need either alts or people to craft them for, so you need to stock the trade chat. So I'm really hoping this isn't the case. But in case it is, right, and we can only get to 50 and you can only unlock 2 of these, then I would recommend going for Textile Treasures and then probably getting access to Dawnweave and Duskweave scraps first, and then you can go for the higher quality ranks later. Because they are going to be important, but we get access to actually farming a lot of this cloth way before the season even starts. So we might not see a lot of people use the work order system before the season starts. And if that's the case, then we have a lot of time to actually get to the point of where we can have 90 points in this tree. But I hope this made sense. I wanted to put this video together to give you guys an idea of what it's going to look like when we're farming cloth in the War Within. I have big plans for obviously making videos around all the potential farming areas, farming spots that are going to pop up for the War Within. It's a little hard to test a lot of the spots on the beta, so that's not something that that we've been able to do much. But when the actual expansion launches, we'll be out there scouting, hunting for all those spots. Also because of the fact that there are world drop BOE recipes, because we're going to want those for all of the different professions. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, make sure you drop those down in the comments below as always. And if you made it all the way to this point in the video, make sure that you type chocolate down in the comments below, because I ate some chocolate not too long ago, and any Danes or maybe even Scandinavians might have seen these before. These are some of my favorites, not sponsored, by the way. But either way, as always, guys, I'll see you on the next one.